Have you ever felt that pull to just disappear? To find a quiet space while it seems like everyone else is out there thriving in all the noise? Maybe you've even been called antisocial or lonely. But what if that's completely wrong? Well, we're here to flip that whole idea on its head.
I mean, really think about it. If you just answered yes, then you are in exactly the right place. See, that feeling isn't some kind of social flaw. Nope. It's actually a clue, pointing to a much deeper and often really misunderstood part of who you are. And we're about to dig into what that is.
So here's the deal. The world often looks at a need for solitude and labels it something negative. The myth is that you're hiding, or you're disconnected, or weak. But the psychological reality is that you're likely tapping into a pretty rare mental strength, one that makes deep self-awareness and focus possible.
And look, we're not just talking about vague feelings here. We're talking about real psychological patterns. Psychology shows us that this craving for alone time isn't a sign that you're broken. It's actually an indicator of some seriously powerful internal traits. So let's explore the 5 signs that prove it.
Okay, first up, the first sign is all about where you get your sense of direction. Let's call it having a strong inner compass. Now, this is a huge concept in psychology. It basically means that instead of looking outside for validation, needing people to tell you you're worthy, you've built that sense of self from the inside out. Your strength, your feeling of worth, it comes from you, not from the approval of the crowd. You see, this isn't about avoiding people. It's about not needing their applause to feel whole. And that, right there, is a profound kind of freedom, a deep self-reliance. You become your own source of stability.
And that internal stability, well, it leads us right into our second strength, what I like to call your mental laboratory. Think about it. When you get quiet, especially after something really intense happens, it's not because you don't care or you're shutting down. Psychologically, you're doing the exact opposite. You're reflecting, you're analyzing, you're making sense of it all internally. And that is a huge part of what we call emotional intelligence.
So your solitude becomes this incredibly productive space. It's like a lab where you can experiment with ideas, really understand your own reactions, and build a level of self-awareness that, honestly, most people who are constantly distracted never get the chance to develop.
All right, the third strength that really grows in that quiet space is the ability to genuinely think for yourself.
People who really value their solitude often have incredibly self-directed minds. I mean, it makes sense, right? In that quiet space, you're finally free from the constant noise of everyone else's opinions. It lets you form your own conclusions based on your own logic and your own values.
And this independence, it leads directly to another really powerful trait: personal responsibility. You want to succeed, but you want to do it on your own terms. Your wins feel so much more meaningful because you were the one who chose the path.
Okay, on to our fourth sign. Now, this one is huge because it reframes something that gets mistaken for laziness all the time, but it's actually a brilliant strategic act of self-preservation. So, from the outside, someone just sitting quietly might look like they're doing absolutely nothing. But inside, psychologically, your brain is doing critical work. It's evaluating choices, predicting outcomes, and this is key, conserving precious energy. It's not laziness at all. It's a form of mental efficiency. Deep thinking literally consumes energy, like a muscle. So by choosing that quiet time, you're being selectively disciplined. You're making a conscious choice not to waste your mental fuel on stuff that doesn't matter, and instead saving it for the projects and ideas that are truly important to you. And that brings us to our fifth and final sign. This one reveals that your need for solitude is actually a profound form of emotional honesty. If you're the kind of person who feels things really, really deeply, the constant stimulation of the world can be just overwhelming. Stepping away into silence isn't a weakness, it's a tool. It's like a release valve that helps you regulate your nervous system and stops you from getting completely flooded. So you see, you're being honest with yourself about your emotional limits, and you're taking the steps you need to take to protect your own well-being. That's not running away. It's a mature, proactive strategy to keep yourself from burning out in the long run. So let's just quickly recap the 5 strengths we've talked about. You have a powerful inner compass. You use your own mental laboratory for deep processing. You have a fierce commitment to independent thought. You've got a built-in burnout shield. And you practice true emotional honesty. See? These are not signs of weakness. They are the hallmarks of a resilient, deeply self-aware mind.
If you take just one thing away today, please let it be this. You are not fragile. You are not broken. You are simply wired to process life more deeply and maybe more honestly than most. Your need for quiet isn't a flaw to be fixed. It's the very thing that fuels your insight, your independence, and your endurance.
Look, understanding the real psychology behind the way you work is the first step. It's what gives you permission to stop apologizing for who you are and to start using your unique nature as the powerful asset it truly is. So the only question left is, are you ready to embrace it?